I'm married shortly after. Welcome those that we've seen over the years. We've seen now for the first time this year, and some newcomers entirely that they hadn't visited our business before. Want to keep in touch with you. Not only when you're here, no, after you leave, also be in touch with us. Always love. It's like a story they tell. A mother was a mame. She was traveling with her iyala on a bus. So before they got on the bus, she knew the schedule of the fees. To what age is considered a child that it goes on free. So until 5, if you're under 5 years old, you go on the bus, you pay nothing, and from 5 above you pay a fee. So she took her Yankele. She said, "Yankele, remember, when you get on the bus and the bus driver asks you how old you are, you'll say you're 4 years old. You're 4 years old." He was 9 or for 4 years old. He's pretty big. So he gets on the bus and he runs right past the driver. So the driver calls, "Hey, young man, come back here." He said, "How old are you?" He said, he starts, "I'm 4. We're going to be 5 when I get off the bus." so don't just get off the bus. When you leave here, keep in touch with us. We're always happy to hear you. In Michigan State, Arba Midas, Berditchever Zaka. There are 4 categories of Balei Zaka, of Lev Toiv, of good-hearted people. He himself, he wants to be mishtated, to take the mitzvah with both hands, wants to give zakah, doesn't want others to give. So the Mishnah tells him, "Einoi tzora v'shal achirim." Nicht, he doesn't grant to achirim that they should give. Well, what's hard to some? That's straight there. What's it if somebody else gives? The thing is, that the Chazal tell us in Rei, Aser to Aser, Aser b'shusha to Sasher. There's a bracha waiting there. When you give tzedakah, financially you prosper. So he wants to keep that bracha for himself. So in it, Rabbi Shalachim. Alright, so she Yitlachem hula yitain, ain't it Rabbi Shaloi? The other way around. If himself, he doesn't want to participate. You knock on his door, he says, go to my neighbor. So he denies himself the mitzvah, and the school need the big bracha that comes in it. He prospers from giving stuff. There's 2 others. So in the time of the Berditchever, the believers of Berditchever, there was a Yid who had a name of Shimon Kamson, a big Kamson. Why? Because whenever they came to him for help, and he had biyat to help, so he would tell them, go to the butcher, go to the baker. You haven't got what to eat. Don't come to me. Go to what do you want from me? So there's Avek Nabach, when he left this world. So Kan Motzah Bal Choyv, Malcolm Bigway says Choyvay. He came to Chever Kaddish to buy a car kit, to buy a plot. So they told them to give him a very stiff price for all the years that they used to approach him, and he never would respond. So he wanted to collect for all those years. So they gave him a very, very stiff price. There was a whole success between them. They couldn't settle it. So he went to the Berditchever. He came to Rabbi Yitzchok. Yitzchok heard who did the Yoshimar, who was their father? So he says, oh, he says, take from them whatever they want to give. And not only that, I myself am going to Levaya. They heard that Berditchever was going to Levaya, so he had a big oil achar, there was a big oil, went to Levaya. But the Chevra Kaddishi were, my goodness, they couldn't understand what the Berditchever did here. They had the Yorshim in the hands, and they had what to give. How he let them out of his hand, but Berditchever told them that they followed what he told. So the Vaya took place, a big called Achron. After the Vaya, one of the Chevra Kaddishi took the courage in his hand and he approached Berditchever. And he asked him, what's the shot? The Yorshim had biyat to give, and that was the right time, the opportunity to collect for all the years. Why did the Rav say they should give? You take whatever. He said, I'll tell you. This Yid had 4 din Torahs before me, the Nifter, and he won all the din Torahs. I'll tell you tonight, the 2 of them. A Yid who one time was had biyad, was financially, he was pretty comfortable, and he lost, he lost everything. There was an opportunity for him to invest some 10,000 gulden somewhere, and it seemed very, very handsome, and sure, it's called the Schar Rochen Mehefsid. Very, very excellent investment. So this year came to Reb Shimon Kamson, and he said to him, could you maybe give me a halvoya for 60 days? I have an opportunity to make an investment, and it would be a handsome return. So he said, how could I give you a halvoya? You haven't got a proof to your name. Who's going to guarantee it? Who'll be yours? So he says, the bunnish will be yours. We said, oh, that's the best. He said, okay. He gives him the 10,000 rubles. 60 days later, he tackles Masliach. So he comes to him and he says, here, Rabbi, I repay the halvoya. He said, it was repaid. He said, what do you mean it was repaid? I didn't repay you. He said, it was repaid. How could it be repaid? He said, well, I didn't give it to you on your say-so. You told me that the Berditchever would be your aura. He was a good aura. He repaid me many times over. He said, he refused to take the money. So he brought this shit to me for din Torah, and I listened to both of them. I said, he's right. He didn't give it to you on your say. He gave it on the Berditchever orifice, and the Berditchever repaid him. So he says he won. That's one din Torah he won. A second din Torah was a Yid was suffering on Nils and Dachkis. In the house, he didn't have what to eat, and he had an opportunity to go abroad, Bever Layam, and it seemed that it would be a Dorish Ishmael Mamish, that he could make out very, very well in a short amount of time. So he wanted to go abroad. But he knows his wife, if he's here and they're starving from hunger, they haven't got to eat, if we go abroad, they certainly won't have what to eat. So he came up with an idea. So he told his wife, he says, Shimon Kamson, he hired me as a salesman. I should go abroad, made up a story. I should go abroad, and every Thursday, while I'm away for a couple of months, every Thursday you go to his office, to his accountant, where everybody comes to get their paychecks, and he'll give you for me a paycheck also. So you tell me you're my wife. I said we arrange it all. You come to him, and he'll give you a paycheck from me. She heard Azoche Werter. No, that's already something different. So, he left. He went abroad. The first Thursday came around, and his wife goes to the Shimon Kampson's office, and the accountant says, "What can I do for you?" She says, "Well, my husband was hired by Shimon Kampson, to go abroad, and every Thursday I'm supposed to come collect a check." He said, "Who's your husband?" She told him his name. He starts looking at his books, looks at, no, it's a mistake. There's no such, nobody like that that's on the payroll. She said, "It must be. My husband's not a liar." Look again. So she starts to get excited. She starts to scream and holler, "My husband told me I have to come every that the Baal Boss himself, Shimon Kampson, heard what's going on, and he came from his office. He came by the accountant, and he said, well, I asked, what's going on here?" So he told him, "This lady made up a Baba Maisa that you hired her husband to go abroad to be a salesman, and every Thursday, like everybody else, you have to come collect a check for him." So Shimon Kampson says, "Oh yeah, she's right. I forgot to tell you that you have to give her a check. Every Thursday when she comes, you have to give her a check. I forgot to say, I'm sorry," she told us, for his Leibala, and he gave her a check. And Thursday after Thursday after Thursday, for a couple of months, she came every Thursday, and she got a check. Finally, after 2 months or so, the husband returned. When he returned, he was Masliach. He had no idea what was waiting for him. He came and he knocked on the door. He thought his wife was going to hit him on the head. What she'll do to him? She doesn't say a word. Shau's quiet. She's happy to see him. He's back, that, everything. And slowly, he's not asking any questions. I try to, she's not complaining. He can't imagine what happened here. How come so finally, she slowly told him the story. Just like you said, I should go every Thursday to collect the paycheck. And I did it every Thursday, and I collected the paycheck. He couldn't open his mouth. How in the world did that happen? But it happened, that's it. So anyways, Baruch Hashem was Masliach. So next morning, he gets up and he goes to Shimon Kampson. He said, "Oh my goodness, thank you very much for what you did." He said, "I want to repay you for everything that you gave my wife." He said, "You're not my Baldover." He said, "What do you mean?" He said, I didn't make up with you to pay her. I did it on my own." They kept on arguing. So he went to the Berditchever with the Forbidden Torah. Each one presented their side of the story. But the Rav said, "It's right. He didn't make up with you." About Berditchever, so he said, so Berditchever said, "A Yid versus that one, says in Torah," he says, he deserved that he should get a big color Achron. Chamani ben Akash Oimer, Rotso, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Zaki Zesh Yisrael, the Tigel, Himmel and Torah Mitzvah.